An inmate in Baltimore is being accused of impregnating 4 female correctional officers.
Former Hamden County correctional officer was sentenced today after a judge found him guilty of having sex with inmates.
Within the confines of prisons, there are surveillance cameras, but it seems that sometimes inmates forget they're under the unblinking gaze of these lenses. This oversight explains why an inmate like Joshua Mullings was caught having sex with a prison guard, while Tavon White and Alex Coxon were accused of impregnating multiple guards each. Additionally, there is the case of Casey White, who was assisted in escaping prison by a guard. Let's take a closer look at each inmate who broke the rules and the consequences they faced. Tavon White and the 4 pregnant guards of Baltimore City Jail. Meet Tavon White, a key figure tied to the infamous Black Gorilla family, a tough gang known both inside and outside prison walls. He was a significant player in a scandal at Baltimore City Jail that took a personal turn involving 4 female prison guards. Charging documents revealed that one guard, Owens, had Tavon tattooed on her neck, while another, Stevenson, had his name tattooed on her wrist. These women found themselves entangled in a complex situation that blurred the lines between duty and desire, as each became pregnant by Tavon White. White effectively turned the jail into his criminal headquarters. The guards were not just passive participants, they actively aided in smuggling contraband ranging from narcotics to mobile phones. Consequently, they faced serious charges, including racketeering, money laundering and drug dealing. These women had children in the midst of this corruption, making their situation even more challenging. Within the jail, White reigned supreme. He didn't just blend in, he was the mastermind behind a smuggling scheme that turned the facility upside down. With his cunning and strategic mind, White exploited every loophole in the system. He utilized his connections both inside and outside the jail to build a covert operation, sneaking in phones, weed, pills and cigarettes for substantial profit. White's ability to command respect and loyalty was evident, and his influence over the guards was a crucial element of his control within the jail. The department's response was swift and unyielding. The 4 women at the center of the scandal were suspended without pay, and steps were taken to terminate their employment, signaling a zero-tolerance stance on corruption. Alex Coxon and the 18 female guards of HMP Berwyn. The positive intentions of HMP Berwyn were overshadowed when multiple investigations exposed a disturbing internal scandal involving an inmate and 18 female guards. The controversy began with the discovery of a relationship between prisoner Alex Coxon and guard Jennifer Gavin. Further investigation revealed that Gavin had accepted a £150 bribe to smuggle a mobile phone into the prison. The relationship came to light when the phone was found hidden beneath a laptop in Coxon's cell, along with explicit material exchanged between the two. This incident was not isolated. It turned out there were other inappropriate relationships between staff and inmates at HMP Berwyn. This led to the revelation that 18 other staff members whose names were not disclosed in the report had been hired and monitored by inmates. Concerns were raised about how easily staff could be manipulated, posing significant risks to prison security when such rules were violated. Gavin faced severe legal consequences, charged with misconduct in public office, reflecting the gravity of her actions. During court proceedings at Mould Crown Court, it was revealed that Gavin had accepted money to smuggle the phone, undermining the prison's safety and security. The court also learned that their communication was facilitated through the Snapchat application, highlighting the challenges modern technology poses to prison security. Gavin admitted to her actions and pleaded guilty. She was sentenced to 8 months in prison, experiencing the criminal system from the other side. The case also had repercussions for Coxon, who received an additional 10-month sentence for his involvement. Joshua Mullings. Within the confines of the prison, inmate Joshua Mullings and prison guard Shania Begum crossed paths, leading to the genesis of an inappropriate relationship. Between September 22nd and 29th, 2022, a camera captured incriminating evidence of their intimate moments. The footage, not from a surveillance camera but a recorded tape seemingly set up by the inmate, showed activities ranging from play fighting and flirting to heavy petting and acts of penetrative. When the secret romance between Begum and Mullings was exposed, it caused a major commotion in the prison. Begum, once admired as a young officer, quickly became a figure of shame. As her misconduct came to light, she found herself facing the very laws she once enforced. Her defense portrayed her as someone who had previously been considered a good person, but had made poor decisions and let her emotions lead her astray. Her counsel, Andrew Baker, emphasized her deep remorse and her struggle to comprehend the unraveling of her once promising career. Despite the defense's plea for leniency, the severity of the offense could not be overlooked. Shania Begum, once a custodian of the law, was sentenced to 16 months of imprisonment. Mullings, already an inmate, continued to serve his life sentence. The 6 inmates. Usually in jail, the sex you want you're not getting, and the sex you're getting you don't want. However, that phrase didn't apply to 6 inmates in Greene County Jail who devised a clever plan to have sex with their partners through the ceiling of the prison. These inmates, aged 44, 38 and 17, and women aged 27, 26 and 21, discovered a weakness in the jail's setup, a spot where security cameras couldn't see. This discovery allowed the women to reach the male inmates undetected. When night fell and the jail quieted down, they executed their plan. Using a shower drain tool, they carefully loosened the security screws holding the metal ceiling panels in place. They removed the panels stealthily, ensuring they could replace them seamlessly to avoid detection. This was not a reckless defiance of authority, but a carefully planned risk. The inmates turned the space above their cells into a nocturnal playground for sexual adventures and the consumption of illicitly brewed alcohol. They carried out their activities multiple times in September and October. The investigation revealed the extent of their actions. They'd not only found a way to meet, but also established a routine of hanging out, playing cards, and engaging in relationships that provided companionship and physical intimacy. Records show that they managed to meet 12 times before being discovered. The scheme unraveled when prison officials found notes in the women's cells detailing their encounters with the male inmates. Following these discoveries, immediate security measures were implemented and all 6 inmates faced felony charges. Raymond Abraham. On a cold morning on February 3, 2021, a young prison guard discovered a remote-controlled vibrator in Rachel Martin's jacket pocket during a random search at work. This discovery triggered a chain of events that revealed a scandalous affair. 3 days later, officers searched Raymond Abraham's cell. Abraham, a prisoner under Martin's supervision, was found in possession of contraband items including a mobile phone, women's underwear, 2 USB sticks and an SD card. The SD card contained pictures of Martin in her underwear, providing clear evidence of their inappropriate relationship. As the investigation progressed, it became apparent that Martin and Abraham had a deep and ongoing connection. Martin was dismissed from her job and resigned within 2 days, but this could not undo the damage nor halt the legal consequences. Further investigations revealed that they had exchanged over $21,000 through bank transfers and cash deposits, suggesting their relationship had turned into a business arrangement. Call records from 2 cell phones found at Martin's place showed hundreds of calls made between them from February 6th to March 16th, 2021. An examination of the phones uncovered around 1,900 WhatsApp messages, some containing explicit declarations of love, although the details were not fully disclosed to the public. The scandal culminated when Rachel Martin confessed to 9 misconduct offences. She was sentenced to 16 months in jail, while Raymond Abraham remained incarcerated. In a dramatic turn, it was revealed that Martin had become pregnant by an inmate, further complicating her situation and highlighting the severe breach of professional conduct. Dontel Keys. Elisha R. Smith, a 31-year-old corrections officer at the Pendleton Correctional Facility, held a position that demanded a high level of responsibility and integrity. Among the inmates under her supervision was Dontel Keys, serving a lengthy sentence for offences including homicide, criminal confinement, and kidnapping dating back to 1998. Smith's professional involvement with Keys began when she was assigned as his caseworker, a role requiring her to provide guidance and support to inmates. During her time as Keys' caseworker, their interactions crossed professional boundaries and developed into a personal relationship. Suspicions about the nature of their relationship prompted a thorough investigation at the Pendleton Correctional Facility. Investigators discovered that Smith and Keys continued to communicate even after Smith left her job at the prison in October 2016 to work at Marion County Community Corrections. The investigations revealed that a baby girl, whose photo was not disclosed, was born on June 15, 2016, raising concerns about Smith's conduct while employed at the facility. Prosecutors, armed with evidence, filed a probable cause affidavit in Madison County Circuit Court, accusing Smith of having a sexual relationship with Keyes while she was his caseworker. DNA tests on Keyes and the child confirmed that Keyes was the father. As a result, charges of official misconduct and sexual misconduct were filed against Smith on December 7th. She was subsequently arrested and held at Madison County Jail on a $20,000 bond. Rennell Wilson. The relationship between Nancy Gonzalez and Rennell Wilson began in secrecy, typical of forbidden connections. Gonzalez, tasked with maintaining order and enforcing laws, found herself attracted to Wilson, a man condemned by society for his heinous crimes. Their affair was not a fleeting encounter but a lasting relationship that spanned months. This bond between a guard and a death row inmate symbolized the unlikely connection between two opposite sides of the justice system. Despite their emotional and physical connection, which deepened over time and led to several sexual encounters within the prison, they managed to keep their affair secret for a while. In a federal detention center where surveillance is constant, their actions were bound to be discovered. A routine investigation eventually uncovered their affair, leading to a scandal that deeply shook the Metropolitan Detention Center. Wilson's criminal life began as a teenager when he joined the Stapleton Crew, a notorious gang. Starting with minor crimes, Wilson quickly escalated to more serious offenses to gain respect within the gang. The Stapleton Crew was involved in various illegal activities, including trafficking and violent crimes, and Wilson's importance in the gang grew over time. Wilson's criminal trajectory took a severe turn in 2006 when he was 20 years old. On March 10th, he was involved in a botched robbery attempt that resulted in the death of two undercover detectives, Rodney Andrews and James Namorin. During a gun buy and bust operation, Wilson shot both detectives at close range, displaying deliberate and ruthless intent. Wilson was swiftly apprehended and the case against him was strengthened by substantial evidence, including eyewitness testimony and forensic analysis. The trial drew significant public and media attention. In 2007, Wilson was found guilty of 2 counts of capital murder and the jury sentenced him to death, making him the first person in New York to receive a federal death sentence since the reinstatement of the federal death penalty in 1988. Anthony Lewis Adland. A correctional officer whose job is to enforce the law is now facing charges for breaking it. Adland, in his role, had daily direct contact with inmates. He was one of many officers who patrolled the cell blocks, supervised activities, and managed the day-to-day operations critical to the jail's functioning. The Heart of America Correctional Center, like any other prison, follows strict rules and is equipped with cameras to monitor and prevent misconduct. However, it is alleged that Adland exploited blind spots in the surveillance system, areas where his actions could go undetected. The charges against Adland stem from 2 separate incidents. The first, occurring in December 2023, involved Adland allegedly engaging in sexual intercourse with a female inmate whose name was withheld. The second incident, in January 2024, saw allegations of Adland receiving oral from another female inmate, also unnamed. These actions reportedly took place within the jail at locations Adland knew were not covered by cameras. A correctional officer is more than just a jailer. They are guardians of a system centered on justice and rehabilitation. The charges against Adland represent a significant fall from grace and challenge the integrity of the institution he served. Casey White. Casey White's escape, facilitated by Vicky White, unfolded like a meticulously planned heist. On April 29, 2022, Vicky White pretended to take Casey White to a fake mental health evaluation appointment at the Lauderdale County Detention Center. In reality, there was no appointment. She drove him out of the facility using a patrol car, which they left in a nearby parking lot before switching to another car that Vicky had parked there the night before. CCTV footage played a crucial role in the investigation, capturing the events leading up to the escape. The footage showed Vicky White checking out of the Quality Inn hours before helping the capital murder suspect escape from the Florence jail. In the video, Vicky, wearing her uniform, escorted Casey, who was in prison clothes and handcuffs, out of the facility. They appeared calm, giving no hint of the trouble that would follow. As the reality of the escape set in, a massive manhunt was launched. Federal, state and local authorities combed the nation, following leads and tips pouring in from across the country. The search for the fugitives was relentless, with their faces plastered across news outlets and social media, making them some of America's most wanted. Before his infamous jailbreak, Casey White already had a troubled history with the law. In 2015, he was implicated in a series of crimes, but it was the brutal murder of Connie Ridgway that brought him into the national spotlight. Charged with capital murder, he admitted to the crime and was sentenced to life imprisonment. Initially, White was incarcerated at the William E. Donaldson Correctional Facility, which houses Alabama's toughest criminals. However, due to ongoing legal proceedings, he was transferred to the Lauderdale County Detention Center. It was in this less secure environment that the scandalous escape plan with Vicky White took place. Gemma Cowperthwaite. Gemma Cowperthwaite's life took a surprising turn from being a law enforcer to a lawbreaker. It all started at the Sinclair County Sheriff's Office, where she was a highly respected officer known for strictly following the rules, whether for those inside or outside of jail. However, beneath this orderly exterior, a storm was brewing. During this time, Gemma met a female inmate, a 22-year-old with a long rap sheet including 9 felony convictions related to fraud, who would change the course of her life. As time went on, Gemma and the inmate started spending more time together, growing closer. The professional boundary between them began to blur, and Gemma found herself emotionally attached in a way she couldn't fully comprehend. The inmate's daily work pass became their ticket to building a stronger connection, allowing them to communicate beyond the prison walls. Gemma broke the rules by giving the inmate her phone number and even letting the inmate use her home to shower during work breaks. She thought she was being kind, but these choices began to unravel her career and her sense of self. Although Gemma vehemently denied that their relationship was sexual, the affair was a significant violation of the trust placed in her as a correctional officer. When the judge rendered the decision, Gemma was convicted and sentenced to 10 months behind bars. The sentence, though lighter than it could have been due to her plea deal, still meant confinement and the loss of her freedom. The professional repercussions were equally severe. Gemma was stripped of her badge and her identity as a law enforcement officer. James Ingerson. James Ingerson and Leanne Sells began their relationship while Sells was working as a prison guard in Vermont, where Ingerson was serving time. This relationship was clandestine and went beyond the bounds of permissible interactions between guards and inmates. Their encounters reportedly occurred multiple times in the staff bathroom, and by May 2012 the consequences of the affair became evident when Sells gave birth to a child. The revelation of their relationship sparked legal and ethical concerns. Vermont law explicitly prohibited relations between prison staff and inmates under their supervision, a statute enacted in 2006. The state reacted swiftly, requesting DNA tests from both Ingerson and Sells to determine the paternity of the child and verify the reality of their relationship. Sells initially faced charges of sexual exploitation of an inmate, a felony with a potential 5-year sentence. However, she later pleaded guilty to a reduced misdemeanor charge related to a prohibited act. The court sentenced her to a 1-year deferred sentence, which meant the charge could be removed from her record contingent upon her compliance with the law. Ingerson, on the other hand, had a complex response to the affair. He initially acknowledged initiating the relationship, but later filed a lawsuit against Sells, the Vermont Department of Corrections, and the commissioner involved in overseeing the prison. This legal action likely aimed to address grievances stemming from the affair and its aftermath. Overall, the affair between James Ingerson and Leanne Sells had significant legal, ethical, and personal ramifications, highlighting the challenges and consequences of inappropriate relationships within correctional facilities. Clavino da Silva. Clavino da Silva initiated a dramatic escape attempt from a Brazilian prison, where he attempted to disguise himself as his own daughter during a visit. His daring plan involved carefully smuggling in a silicone mask, wig, glasses, and clothing to impersonate his daughter. However, despite his efforts to blend in, prison guards grew suspicious due to his nervous behavior. The ruse was eventually uncovered during a security check, leading to da Silva's apprehension and return to custody. This incident underscores the lengths to which individuals might go to escape confinement and the elaborate schemes they devise to evade detection. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, please let us know by clicking the like button, do share, write a comment, and don't forget to subscribe.